Okay, this next section is about clubs for graduate students. I had planned to have two different clubs here. The Graduate Entrepreneurship Club, of which Nicholas is the president. He's going to make a presentation. The second club is the CMU Summit on U.S. and China Innovation and Entrepreneurship. It's a graduate student club made up of entrepreneurs from China who want to get a higher profile for Carnegie Mellon in China. Unfortunately, Tiger, who is the president of the club, has visa problems and is stuck in China and was unable to get a substitute today. So if you want to learn more about the CMU Summit on U.S.-China Innovation and Entrepreneurship, we'll get you connected with Tiger and maybe have an information session or two. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our partner in today's event, the GEC and Nicholas.
Thank you, Dave. All right, let me just... Oh, perfect. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome all. Thanks for coming. I'm really excited to be up here talking to you guys. I'm going to get out of the way of the screen here, but I don't like standing next to podiums. So this is very much true. We do want to feed you guys, and we do want to give you free shirts. This will probably happen a little later in the semester, but just know that like our goal for you guys this year is always going to be to support the graduate students as much as possible. And that does mean everyone, not just Tepper students, although I see a couple of y'all hiding in the back there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things. We're going to talk about who is the GEC, what is the GEC, give a quick intro to the board. That way you know who to talk to if you are curious about anything in specific. What are our goals for the year, upcoming events, and then I'm just going to hold a Q&A. I want to keep this short so that you guys can do other things with your time for the next 30 minutes before the fireside chats, because those are going to be more interesting than me standing up here talking to y'all. So, who is the GEC? So the GEC stands for the Graduate Entrepreneurship Club, and we are one of the very few clubs, for those that don't know, that span the entire CMU college or university. So that means that we have students from the College of Fine Arts, we have students from Hines, we have students from Tepper, and the goal is actually to make this about as inclusive as possible. So that's what we're trying to do. And what does that mean? Well, we want to support you in whatever entrepreneurship means to yourself. That could be starting a business. It could be joining a business. It could be working in VC. It could be buying a company. I know Mac was on the on the panel earlier talking about ETA. That is definitely, we're going to have a couple good programs coming up for that. So that's going to be pretty fun. Or just, as the Corporate Startup Lab mentioned, just infusing entrepreneurship into your company or your really boring, large 2,000 plus company. All right, so here's the board. I'm the president. Ankit, I saw in the back there, he's waving hi. He's our vice president. If any of the other board members want to stand up, I saw Sharang as well. Sharang, Saisri is also on the board, so yeah, y'all have already met Saisri. But yeah, board members, stand up if you want. Otherwise, just we're going to move on. All right, so the goal for the year, experiential learning. This is kind of like something that I wanted to pick up and run with for the year. Really what our goal is to give you guys is as many experiences, as many opportunities to learn about entrepreneurship, learn how you can apply it, learn where and what parts of your life entrepreneurship really applies to. So that's going to be things like some of our events like Student in Residence, which will give you direct opportunities for like in-semester internships, or things like hackathons, a large one being Hack a Startup, which would be the biggest. And then finally, we are very much interested in collaborating with all the other colleges. So I know that we already have Tony, who's our marketing officer. He's working with some folks at the College of Fine Arts to see if we can get some really cool collaborations going between us and them. And that included is we're also going to be doing a collaboration with the UAE, so it's the Undergraduate Entrepreneurship Association, and that's going to be for Hack a Startup specifically. So that's going to be a really great event. All right, last slide, I promise. Mini One All Hands, so this is coming up on the 15th of September, so that's next week. If you guys are already members, I would encourage you to join. I'm going to be feeding you. See, feed. Additionally, if you guys are interested in joining the club, please feel free to come by. That's definitely a chance where you can kind of get a little bit more of a honed in perspective of the GEC. Coming up after that is going to be the Student in Residence Fair. So what it's going to be is we haven't decided the format, but it's probably going to be about a hybrid event, meaning that there's going to be some people online and some people in person, but basically startups are going to come by here. You're going to have the opportunity to chat with them and set up networking events with them, and they will come with the opportunity to have in-semester internships. Most of these are probably going to be unpaid because they're going to be smaller startups, but this will be a great opportunity to get some experience. I actually did one over the spring last year, and it was fantastic. And I'll take questions afterwards. This is the last slide, so afterwards we'll have questions. So anyone wants questions, please feel free to ask then. Hack a Startup, this one's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be happening end of October and then rolling into the beginning of November. And it's going to cover, it's one of our premier ones, but basically, long story short, is you get to pitch an idea and then take it from 0 to 60. So we're gonna let you run with the idea, do market discovery, and ultimately it is a pitch competition, but you'll have the ability to build a startup basically from ground zero. So if you have some really great idea to have jackets that turn into hoodies so that you can just wear a really comfy hoodie and then go to a TCC event, this is a shout out to all the Tepper students, then maybe that's an idea, who knows. Or I've heard some really great ones. Sci3 was definitely in there, so we've had some good events, or good startup ideas. And this actually is a great event if you're interested in McGinnis, because it'll really get your chops wet. It'll give you an opportunity to kind of like hone, like fine-tune things so that you can go into McGinnis with something that's a little less hacked together, as it were. VCIC, this one is basically take it from the concept of like if you're a founder and you're trying to find money, this is the exact opposite. You're now the VC and you're trying to fund a founder. So we'll bring in a couple different startups. They'll do their pitches to you, and then your job is to create the investment concept for the startup of your choice. So that's really exciting. We're also going to have plenty of guest lectures. We already have couple already with a couple startups and a couple of VCs that we're working on just getting scheduled for the rest of the semester. Those will pop up on your calendars if you're in Tartan Connect. And finally, the GEC Social, that's coming up at the end of the month. It'll basically just be a networking event. We'll probably host it off campus. We did it, I think, at East End Brewery last year, although that may not be the same. But just an opportunity for people to come in, socialize. We won't be paying for your drinks, but we'll definitely give you the opportunity to talk. So, questions, thoughts, concerns? Yes, sir.
What are the associated membership fees to join GEC?
That's a very good question. I believe the dues are about $80 for the year, plus or minus. We do have varying fees depending on if you're part-time or if you're full-time, things like that. So they are structured to be as inclusive as possible. Yeah.
For the Hack a Startup, what are some of the parameters, whether team members, how, I don't know, what kind of other guidelines do you have as we want to prepare, specific deadlines and so forth?
Yeah, so for the Hack a Startup, we will have an info session about a week beforehand. So if you do want to, join that, that's probably the best time to get information, but I'll give you a couple highlights. We are partnering with the UAE, so we'll probably have a structure where the team needs to have an undergraduate on the team, just to kind of make things a little bit more balanced. It also depends on how many undergrads we actually have joining us, so that'll be a question that'll finish itself out later on. Idea-wise, I've seen people come up with an idea on a piece of paper literally 5 minutes beforehand. Some of them did better than others. Mine actually got to the final, I think, and I came up with that within 10 minutes. So, yeah. If you have a really good idea, you're probably going to make it farther, i.e. Sci3. So that's probably is the best answer I can give you for the time being. Cool. Okay, so also just concept on time. Apparently, I get to keep you guys for 30 minutes, but I'll let you guys go if you don't have any more questions.
Are all of these events exclusive to club members, or can other people also join it?
Love that question, actually. No, the answer is no. We try and keep our, as with the entrepreneurship community, we try and keep our events as open as possible. There will certainly be closed events. Unfortunately, that's just the factor of like different things like size. So if we do have a size limitation, we will limit it to to club members. But otherwise, we will keep as many of them open as possible. So that would be things like the guest lectures will typically be open to everybody. Yeah, that's the answer.
Quick question. What is the main method of communication? Is it email, Slack, Discord, WhatsApp?
That's a fantastic question. I did not anticipate it, and we probably should have put some QR codes up on there. We do have a current WhatsApp channel, which is probably the best mode of communication for us. We also do use emails, so if you are a member, you'll get emails via Tartan Connect and things like that. I think we can coordinate with the Schwartz Center to send out.
Yeah. You have a newsletter that you send out on a regular basis, and we have the Schwartz Center weekly bulletin that comes out every Friday at 10 a.m. You should all, everybody in this room, be signed up for that weekly bulletin because it covers everything that the GEC is doing and everybody else. So that's kind of the one-size-fits-all great thing to subscribe to. So it's right on the front page of the Schwartz Center website. It says weekly bulletin. Put in your email address, and you're off and running.
And we'll coordinate to get you guys the link for the WhatsApp channel also, if you guys are interested. Cool. Got this one, Dave.
Hey, so I'm in the robotics school, so not as well integrated, slowly trying to get more integrated in the ecosystem here. We are starting a venture, and as you grow, there are always like new opportunities that we can float, right? We are raising, maybe we need some kind of market strategy. We need to reach out. And seems like you guys are connecting from the other side. So is there a way for me to flag certain opportunities that might exist at our end?
How do you mean?
Yeah, like just maybe we have open interns, or we are looking to do our next raise, and if someone wants to design our market strategies, things like that. I hear people are looking for opportunities.
Yes.
Right. So how do we?
So one thing that we have next Tuesday evening is the Tech Talk. Venture Bridge teams are going to begin doing Tech Talks. It's basically recruiting for interns and full-time employees. All of this you'll find in the Schwartz Center weekly bulletin. It's the pulse of what's going on.
Yeah, just to tack on, I mean, so the thing is that, yes, you are absolutely correct. We've been focusing a little bit more on the recruiting side in terms of, like people who are looking to join or tack on. We definitely leverage the community as much as possible to provide opportunities for those folks who are actually already in, say, their own like startup mode, whatever that may be, stealth or, trying to fund what have you. And if you do need, like, say, for example, a business student to help you with your marketing plan or your go-to-market strategy, we definitely have a couple of those around. Vice versa, as you can see in the room, like there's definitely going to be folks that are more CS-based, more robotics-based, as in your case. So what we try and provide is not just the recruitment opportunities, but also the network. So being in the club is going to give you access to that network, and that's going to be very valuable if you're looking for things that you wouldn't necessarily find just being in the robotics college. Or Tepper College, by the way. Just saying. I saw a question over here. Yes. Dave, I got you.
So you partly answered my question. My question was if events are open to everybody and there are other resources that others get, what extra do we get by joining GEC? Like, why join GEC, basically?
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a good question. It's always a tough thing to balance, right? I want to make this club as inclusive as possible. I guess one of the simple answer is if you want to support the GEC. So it's kind of like, why do you pay taxes? It's, the long story is that we will have those events. We will have some that we will try and make that are definitely more focused to specifically the GEC. It comes down to, a question of size. So if we have a competition or something like that that's only limited to, say, 20 people, obviously we're going to limit to the GEC. You'll also get some swag as well out of it. So GEC members will get t-shirts. We actually small plug, but if any of you guys are arts members or actually have like graphic design or arts kind of interest, we are having an ongoing competition for a new GEC design to go into our shirts and our sweatshirts, and that'll be really exciting. We've already got a couple of really cool submissions. So yeah, GEC members will also get that specifically. And last year I gave them out at the end of the year. I'm deciding if I want to give it out at the, like in the December, end of fall semester.
Die, pay taxes, join GEC. Saisri, speak into the microphone.
Okay, so being from MIPS, which is not really a TEPA program, GEC is probably the only club which is open to TEPR and all the other colleges at CMU and graduate levels. So it's just a great place to meet people who are not from your program and form amazing teams so you can work on your ideas together. So yeah, GEC is just amazing for that. And even the board setup, if you see, it's probably the only club which has representation from so many other courses, so many other programs which are not just TEPR-based.
Just to be clarified, if when we do have competitions and things like that, we will prioritize, like the GEC and associated members over the non members. That's kind of the way that I was going to operate on that one. Sorry. Okay, cool. Last questions. Do you guys really want a nice break? I like questions.
Hello. Okay, sorry. So I'm a part-time MBA student. So do you have a lot of part-time students in this club, and do you have like a lot of options for like hybrid opportunities or a lot of your events like in the evenings that could overlap with classes? Like, do you have a lot of experience working with part-time students?
So in fact, if I remember correctly, the team that won VCIC last year was actually a part-time team. So that one was actually held on the weekend, so it was a little bit easier. And also, I think half of their team had to fly in specifically, so that one was a little bit of a tricky work, but we did make it work. It's tougher because, like, obviously, in my head, I'm full-time, so I'm like, oh yeah, like everyone has the same schedule, obviously. And then I get reminders from Saisri that, not all students have Fridays off. So I am trying to be more inclusive. We are going to try and have a couple more weekend events. We're going to try and keep it to the point where we can definitely work. So one of the goals is to work with the part-time students to get a couple more events that are more available to everyone. And there will always be virtual options on all of our speaker events and things like that. So if you are interested, we'll record it for sure. And obviously you wouldn't be participating, but you'll at least get to see it. That would be at the onset, that would be my current state of things. But yeah, absolutely we want you guys to participate as much as possible. Yeah. Did I trash on TEPR enough? All right. Cool. Last final questions. Otherwise, I think, Dave, we have until 3, correct?
Yeah, we have Ray Lane coming in to do a fireside chat here at 3 o'clock, so we can take a break. Couple points just to remind. Sign up for the Sports Center Weekly Bulletin. It's on the front page of the website. Also, LinkedIn is your best friend if you don't know that already. So if you want to get connected to the broader Carnegie Mellon community, I have 12,000 Carnegie Mellon alums that I'm connected to on LinkedIn. So send me an invite, and then when you search for anything, because I have 12,000 connections, you'll see my first, second, and third level connections in your search results. So it's a really, really important way to make connections.
Yeah, actually, on that point, just before we leave, I know a lot of you guys are probably looking for internships or full-time offers. Maybe after you graduate, which could be potentially December or May. My opinion is, if you really are interested in a startup, start that networking now. Engineer, marketing, business, it really doesn't matter. What's going to make these opportunities show up, if you're looking to join or find a startup, is really going to be your ability to go and make friends. And this applies also to the folks that are trying to create their own startups as well. Like, if you don't have a network, you're not going to be able to find that VC that's going to fund you. So I know I'm going a little long here, but like, long story short, networking is probably the most important thing you could ever do as an entrepreneur. If you have a good network, you're going to be successful. So start it now. Yeah, GC is a good place to start.
Great place to start. All right, we're going to break for about 14 minutes to 3 o'clock. We have Ray Lane, former chairman of the Board of Trustees, still a trustee here at Carnegie Mellon. He runs Great Point Ventures, has got a lot of incredible experience.